Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 20 male, have been living with my current foster family since I was 16. I've been in the system since I was 11, after some really bad stuff with my biological family, and I was honestly relieved when I got placed here. I thought I had finally caught a break. They weren't these loving parents or anything, but they weren't physically abusive, which was a big improvement from where I'd been. The house has 4 foster kids total, including me. The younger ones are around 8, 11, and 15. Then they have one biological daughter, mid-20s, married but living separately until recently. I work part-time, pay rent, and take care of myself. I'm set to age out at 21, but I can move out anytime. I'm just staying in to save as much as I can. The foster parents, let's call them Diane and Rob, don't work. They survive entirely off the government allowances they get for having foster kids. That's been their family business for so long. You can see it in how they treat the kids. Everything is secondhand, food is always the cheapest possible, birthdays and holidays are never acknowledged. Not saying foster kids need fancy stuff, but we are talking about constantly rationed meals, thrift shop clothes with holes, and no extra supplies or contribution for school events. I've been working full-time for some time now, so I sometimes sneak in the younger kids extra food, school supplies, or some Dollar Tree stuff they need. I know what it feels like to have no one advocate for you, so I do what I can. Now, a few months ago, their biological daughter, Mel, moved back home. She's going through a divorce, has a small kid, and apparently needs money for a custody battle. Since she's been back, things have gotten way worse in the house. Food portions have shrunk even more. Rob and Diane started talking non-stop about how hard it is to support their own family, much less us, and how expensive the quote is. They have stopped replacing things the younger kids need, like school shoes or winter coats. But Mel got a new wardrobe and a vanity mirror set up in the house. I stayed out of it as much as I could, until recently. A couple of months ago, I got news that shocked me. My maternal grandmother, who I hadn't had much contact with for years, left me a pretty big inheritance, upwards of $250,000. It was completely unexpected, but I was grateful. I've been making plans to set myself up when I leave at 21, maybe start some college courses or put a down payment on a little place. Well, guess who found out? Rob and Diane, of course. At first, they played it off as concern, like, "Oh, you're so young, you'll need help managing that money. We should help you." I tried avoiding the topic as much as I could, even taking on extra hours at work so I wouldn't run into them, but the topic kept coming up. Then recently, they have started hinting that Mel could really use some help with the legal bills and saying, "We have supported you for years. Don't you think it's fair to give back a little?" I've tried again to run from the topic as much as I could, to no avail. A few days ago, Rob got up in my face, yelling that I'm ungrateful, selfish, and that I owe them because they kept me off the streets all these years. Diane has been crying, telling the younger kids that I'm tearing the family apart and that Mel's baby will suffer because I'm greedy. It got so bad that I left the house temporarily and I'm currently staying with a coworker. I didn't want to stick around and risk things getting physical. I honestly don't know what to do. Part of me feels guilty, even though logically I know I don't owe them anything. I have already been helping the younger foster kids more than they know, but the emotional manipulation they're throwing at me is hard to shake, especially because I have lived there for 4 years. They have sent a few texts saying I need to step up for the family and help Mel get her life together, or they will be forced to kick me out early. I'm 20. I can leave anytime, but I was planning to hold on until I aged out just to save some more. Now I'm not sure it's worth it. Just needed to get this out because my head is spinning. Thanks for reading. Update. So, a lot of drama unfolded over the weekend. I went back on Saturday around noon with a buddy from work, Jake, and his pickup. The idea was to grab the rest of my stuff, hand over the house key, and be gone in under an hour. Rob usually works on his car at a friend's shop on Saturdays, so I figured I would avoid him. Diane opened the door, already filming me, phone right in my face, just so everyone sees how ungrateful you are. I walked past her and headed straight for my room. Mel stepped out of the kitchen holding a folder of court papers and started speed-talking about how I should sign over a little lump sum to prove I care about family. I told her I wasn't discussing money and kept packing. Rob showed up sooner than expected. Must have gotten a heads up from Diane and parked his rusty Tahoe so close behind Jake's truck that we couldn't pull out. He walked in, sweating and yelling that I was stealing from his household. I stayed calm, said I was only taking my own things. Then he tried to grab my bag, claiming he needed to document what I was taking. Instead, I hit the record on the camera and stepped back. He did not like that and tried to block us from leaving. Jake called 911 the moment Rob blocked the doorway. 2 officers arrived pretty quickly. Diane turned on the waterworks, telling them I was robbing the family. I showed my ID and explained I was just a foster kid moving out, just taking my belongings. The cops asked Rob if anything in my boxes belonged to him. He couldn't name a single item. They told him to move the Tahoe or it would be towed. While Rob was outside shifting the car, Mel slid a bank loan agreement across the hallway floor. Literally like a hostage situation. It said I would loan her $50,000 for her custody battle. 0% interest payable when possible. I couldn't help laughing and shoved it back under the door. One of the officers saw the whole thing and just raised an eyebrow at her. The younger kids were on the stairs, wide-eyed. The 11-year-old handed me a crumpled drawing of us playing soccer in the yard and whispered, "Don't forget to text." That almost broke me. Rob finally moved the Tahoe. The cops watched while we loaded up and that was it. Nobody got arrested. They just told Rob to handle civil matters in civil court. Jake and I drove off, grabbed cheap pizza and tried to decompress. I'm in my new place now, boxes everywhere, but safe. Diane's been tagging me in Facebook rants about stealing the children's futures. So I muted the whole family. My social worker called this morning. Apparently, Rob claimed I stole valuable household items. Translation, my own laptop and a thrift store dresser I bought with my paychecks. She wasn't fooled, but is checking in on the younger kids. To answer some questions, the inheritance is locked in an account only I can access. I can't go no contact because of the younger kids. I've got a meeting next week with a financial aid counselor about community college classes. And I set a reminder to text the younger kids once a week from a Google Voice number, so my real one stays private. I am so sorry you had to go through all this, OP. Your foster parents are assholes who take advantage of kids in desperate need of basic needs and affection. I am very glad you didn't let them get to you. You didn't owe them or their child anything. You didn't owe them any more for staying with them for 4 years because they were collecting government checks and still doing the barest minimum. The fact that they somehow got it into their heads that they deserve anything from you just shows how selfish and evil they are. Thank God you're out of there. I really wish the other kids well, and I hope you all are able to stay in touch. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for taking away a present that my son was given? I would like to start off by saying that my husband, 40 male, and I, 34 female, do not spoil our kids. We are very well off, but both of us started from very poor background, so we really want our kids to learn things and not be given to them. We have 3 kids, Sarah, 11 female, Ben, 9 male, and Keith, 7 male. The only time we spoil them is during holidays and their birthdays. We like to go out during those times. The rest of the time we will only buy necessities like new clothes, school supplies, and whatnot when needed. So our kids have one chore to do every day. We have a chore chart that rotates between vacuuming, filling the dishwasher and empty dishwasher. Now we have another chores chart that they can pick a chore from, and if they do it, earn 50 cents. There have to be over 30 different chores on that chart that can be done every day. Things like sweep the steps, clean kitchen counters, dust, etc. So if you do 3 extra chores that day, you earn $150. At the end of the week, we pay our kids. Each kid has their own secure spot to keep their money. We start each kid doing this at 6 years old to teach them money management. It works really well. And Sarah has over $200 saved up, and Keith is starting to learn how to save. My son Ben has never gotten the hang of saving. He has always been the type to spend everything he earns very quickly. He usually will do enough chores a week to get $10. By Wednesday, the money is gone, since he will spend it all at the school store, candy and whatnot. Well, a new Kirby game came out for the Switch and he wanted it. Well, he didn't have any money saved up, so he has to earn the amount he needs to buy it. The game is about $60, so that means 120 chores. Well, Ben was really struggling at the beginning, but was slowly saving up the money. He is now halfway there. My sister-in-law has never liked this system and really believes kids should be spoiled. When she was over today, she downloaded the game on the Switch and showed it to Ben. Ben started to play the game, and we noticed when he already started the game. We were very angry at sister-in-law since it defeated the whole point of what we were trying to teach. So while sister-in-law was here, I removed the game from the Switch and explained to Ben that he still needs to earn the game, that I will re-download it when he earns the money. Sister-in-law blows up at me and tells us that it's a present and my kid doesn't have to earn crap, that we are awful parents for doing this to our kid. She left and told my husband's mother, and told us the same thing. Now we are both doubting our system even though it works great for Sarah. So am I the a-hole? I would say you're the a-hole here, OP. Your sister-in-law was wrong for going behind your back and downloading the game for Ben, but you shouldn't have done that. He already made it halfway through. Why can't he just have the game that he really wants, especially if he struggles with the chore and earning system unlike his siblings? I think teaching your kids how to be responsible and save money from such a young age is a great thing. But don't forget to balance things out so they don't grow up resenting you. Now for some comments. Soft, you're the a-hole. Teaching your kids responsibility is important, but there is nothing wrong with once in a while having someone give them something as a gift. Kids are different. Just because a system works well for Sarah doesn't mean it's how Ben is going to learn. Maybe it's time to find a new approach with Ben. 50 cents chore for a 5-minute task comes to $6 per hour for a quick chore. But yeah, F me, I don't have kids. They're being taught to contribute to the household. Their work is being compensated. They're learning financial management. So, soft, you're the a-hole cause life isn't fair. And sometimes you get things you haven't earned, good or bad. And it feels lousy when good things are taken away because those are the rules, yada yada. However, overall, I think OP is doing a pretty good job. So, keep it up. But don't let your vision for your children become more important than kindness, compassion, and love. You're the a-hole. I think your chore system is reasonable, but so is your sister giving your child a random gift. So taking that away until he finds the $60 is unreasonable. Who does the $60 go to? Are you making him pay back the sister? She isn't going to accept it, so then what happens? Do you pocket your sister's money? I think a better thing to do here is to engage with your son if there is some other $40 to $60 item he wants, and show him how close he is because he saved, and encourage him to get there, so he can have the satisfaction of saving and getting. If you make him pay $60 for this game, he will never feel the satisfaction of saving for it, and instead only bitterness of having to buy back the gift. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for not splitting my referral bonus with a friend who got hired at the company I work for? Pretty much, just as the title says, I've been at this company for 5.5 years and was referred here by another guy I know who's still working here as well. He got a referral bonus for me starting and bought me lunch. I was planning to take my friend who just got hired out to a nice steak dinner, but she and another friend have both said I should really split the bonus 50-50 with her. I can kind of see their point of view, but referrals always seemed like a perk of putting your reputation on the line for someone else. I never even thought about asking the guy who referred me to split it, and hadn't thought of doing it here until she mentioned it. And now I'm second-guessing myself a bit. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, it's your bonus. Hell, you aren't obligated to even treat them to dinner. If the person decides they hate you and want to get no contact because you didn't toss money at them, after referring them to get a damn job, that's their problem. You get to keep the bonus and cut moochers out of your life. Win-win. If they don't, you treat them to dinner and they grumble a bit, then you work as usual. Win-win. Plus you get to see a grown adult moping like a child. Not the a-hole. I've been hired based upon a friend getting a referral bonus, and I never once thought I should get any part of the money. I got the job. That was the more important thing. You were already planning to do a nice thing by taking them out for dinner to celebrate. Just keep in mind that the friend can be a reflection on you to the people above. Since you were the referral, I am a cynic, but hopefully the person wouldn't try to make their hiring look bad on you in some way as payback. Not the a-hole. I really don't follow her logic. It's not like she did you a favor by taking the job unless she only took it so you could get the bonus, in which case that's odd. I could see her argument if this was an apartment and she didn't have to put your name down or tell them you sent her, but that's not the case. She likely got the job in part because you put her name in, giving her your seal of approval. If anything, I would think she should take you to dinner for getting her job. Don't ask her to do that though.